What's up, everyone? All right, well, here we are Wednesday morning, and I'm finishing in the green. A week ago Wednesday, had a red day. Red day recap was down 11,700, something like that. Not a fun day, a little disappointing. I went short the S&P 500, took 2 other trades, and was red on 3 out of 3 stocks. Today is the opposite. I'm green on 4 out of 4 stocks, and we had a 150% move on DPSI, which was a total surprise. I didn't see it coming. So we'll break it down during the recap here, which I hope you guys enjoy. We're definitely in a bear market. And so I think a big question right now that traders are asking is, how do you trade through a bear market? Do you just short everything? What do you do? So the problem right now is it's a combination of the fact that the market is bearish, the S&P 500, overall market is bearish. And that, the fact is the overall market is down today while DPSI was squeezing up 150%. But what we find is when the overall market is bullish, we see more of these small caps kind of like bubbling to the surface and having these crazy breakouts. They still happen during bear markets, but they don't happen as frequently, and the moves aren't as exciting and as juicy. So what we're dealing with on the small cap side of things is that in the small cap market, whether you're long or short, we need things that are moving. If you're a short seller, you're predominantly short bias, it doesn't really matter right now. You're not going to do better right now being short bias when things aren't moving. You make money when something goes up and you short it back down. So if things are just really subdued and we don't have volatility, that's not good whether you're long or short. So that's where if you're a small cap trader and the small cap market is cold, you're kind of out of luck whether you're long or short. So that's an important thing to recognize. And that's why it's always good to build out secondary strategies that you could trade alongside your primary. So if your primary does get cold, you have something to lean back on. I haven't been really good at this. Going into large caps, I've done it over the years here and there. I sort of feel like when the market's hot, I don't want to divert my attention from what's working, right? Because I just want to focus 100%, be as aggressive as I can, and not try to do too many things at once. When the market's cold like it is right now, I feel like, I can't really afford to deviate. I've got to just stick with what I know. I don't want to, dig unnecessary losses. And so it kind of has me in this perpetual state of sticking with what I know, whether the market's hot or cold. And I think it really would require a much more active, sort of affirmative decision that I'm going to focus the next X period of time on developing out this strategy, whatever it is. And, in the times where I've tried to do that, I have found that the struggle for me is when one strategy is performing well, but the other is performing poorly, that the emotions of the one that's performing poorly roll over to the one that's working. And I have a really hard time kind of keeping them separate. So like swing trading and day trading at the same time, or like long-term investing and day trading at the same time, where you're looking and you're like, oh my God, this long-term position that I'm in is down. And then that kind of, fuels the way you trade short-term, which it shouldn't, but it's really hard for me to separate that. Maybe that's me, and maybe other people are better at it. I don't really know, but it's an issue for sure. So I'm left here during this cold market of the last few days where I was red on Wednesday. I didn't take any trades Thursday. Friday, I was really cautious. I missed Viru. And then finally I ended up breaking the ice and taking 1 trade on it, which was a stupid trade near the high of day. I only made $300, but I was probably risking 1,000. So I was like, that was stupid, shut it down. So I walked away. Monday, I didn't take any trades. Yesterday, I took 1 trade. I don't even remember the stock, but it was 1 trade that was popping up, and it was like a $2,000 winner or something like that. That was during the morning show. And then today, I ended up getting green on my first trade, which was breaking news at 9 a.m., $1,800. And then I took a second trade on a break of VWAP, $2,000 profit. So now I'm up $3,800. Took a third trade, another $1,200. Now I'm at $5,000 on the day. That's pretty good. And then we got this DPSI move at the open, and that brought me from up 5 to 6 to 7, 8, 9, 10 to 12 to 14,000. So that's where I'm at now, $14,462.22. So I'll break it down. We'll talk quite a bit about DPSI because that was the big one that was most exciting. And as always, if you have questions and comments, feel free to leave them down below. And I hope you enjoy this recap. All right, I'll see you first thing tomorrow morning for the morning show. All right, so I'm going to do a recap of my trades from this morning. You know, it's been a slow week. It was actually a week ago today, I think. I think it was a week ago today that I was had a red day. I was down $12,000 or $11,700. My first trade a week ago today was on the S&P 500. I tried to short the S&P 500. And I ended up losing $7,000 on my first trade. Took a second trade, was red on that too. Took a third trade, was red on that too. So I was red on 3 out of 3 stocks. Today is polar opposite. I'm green on 4 out of 4 stocks, sitting at $14,462.22. Not bad. Finally, a nice green day. I did have a green day yesterday as well, and I had a no trade day on Monday. Friday would have been a no trade day, but I had one trade where I made $300, but whatever. Basically a no trade day. Thursday was a no trade day. So it's been a slow stretch. And you know, this is actually the slowest. I think this might be the slowest week I've maybe ever had trading. I've never had what could have easily been 5 no trade days in a row. Wednesday last week, I shouldn't have traded at all. I took a sort of stupid trade on the S&P, broke the ice, and then just kept trading and tried to make back the loss, but ended up doubling it. Thursday was a no trade day. Friday, I did end up taking a trade, but it was sort of a stupid trade and I shouldn't have traded at all. Monday was a no trade day. Yesterday, I got one trade, and that was it. And that was during the morning show. So of course there was no, there was nothing to recap because that was all part of the morning show. And then today I started with an $1,800 winner on AGRI. That was the first stock I traded. Then I got a trade on Viru. Then I got a trade on PIC. And then we got DPSI at the open. So let's go to the top this morning and kind of go over the day. So I sat down this morning on the early side, looked at the gap scanner. Leading gapper this morning at GGRO, 71 cents. Didn't actually notice that one, but second leading gapper was GNUS, also a cheap one at 80 cents. No interest in that. It ended up opening and selling off, so there's nothing to trade there. DPSI, this one is the one that I ended up doing the best on, and what a wild chart. So when I was looking at it pre-market, I had no interest in it. I was like, nope, this one's beaten up. It's popped up to 12.50 and then came all the way back down. So we'll go over that one later. PIK, this one gave us a trade pre-market. And then let's look at AGRI. So the gap scanner wasn't really great today. AGRI was a continuation trade from yesterday. The stock was strong on Monday and Tuesday, and then pre-market, it actually had news, right, that came out at 9 a.m. And so on that candle, it spiked from 294 to 334, and I jumped in it as it was spiking up. It was a micro pullback. So if we go over onto here, let's see, we'll see the micro pullback right around there. This was where I jumped in on this micro pullback right here. So those who are going to watch this later on YouTube as a recap, I will put a link down in the description for my micro pullback strategy. This is page 1 of the PDF. So this gives you the criteria for trading these micro pullbacks. This is something I trade all the time, and I trade it as part of my pre-market strategy, which I'll put a link to that video at the end of this recap. So when we have a stock that's breaking news, I look for the micro pullback and then jump in. It's a technical pattern, and this was on a 10-second chart, but you can trade it on a 1-minute chart as well. So anyways, took that trade there with 30,000 shares, only made $1,800 on it. Not really that big of a winner, but it's fine. So got one winner on that, broke the ice. Second trade was on Viru. The Viru trade was actually pretty good. This one, I had a good entry. We'll back this up here. It was a break of VWAP entry, which is usually powerful. I like to trade at the places where I expect volume to spike. Volume spiking means we're going to get a clean move, big breakout, volatility increase, and that can be a spot where I can do really well. So I bought this for the break of 16 right here with 6,000 shares. I added as it squeezed higher, and we got a move here up to 16.38. You know, 40 cents. That's not bad. It ended up coming back down and not holding the level. So I'm glad I took profit off the table as it squeezed up locking up $2,100. So that was my biggest trade of the day at that point. And then I took a trade on PIK, P-I-K, on the scanners. Some folks mentioned it. They said, hey, look at PIK, it's starting to break out. And I looked at it and I said, you know, it is starting to break out. And so on this one, I took a 1 minute micro pullback right there. Again, micro pullback. So took the 1 minute micro pullback on this one. We got a trade from 240 up to 260, approximately 20 cents. Made 1,300 bucks on it. Not really a huge winner, but I came into the open with these 3 trades up about $5,000 or so, $4,000. So that's a pretty good start to the day. And reminder, as always, my results are not typical, and there's no guarantee that you'll find success, whether you're learning from me or learning on your own. So just reminder. So then the market opens, and I was kind of like, okay, well, let's just see, let's just see how things kind of base out. So at the opening bell, we had a spike on a couple different stocks. We had DPSI squeeze up and get halted immediately at the open. It just squeezed right up to 678 and halted. So of course I missed it. It opens and squeezes up to 856. I watched it at 750, but I hesitated because it appeared that there was a hidden seller at 750. It's a little bit, that's sort of a technical a thing that you see on the level 2 and you'll get better at the more you trade. But anyways, I saw a hidden seller. We did break through it, it halted up, but then it resumed and halted down and came all the way back down here to 630. Then it bounced up pretty well. And right here, it curled back up. And so, ended up being strong. We'll go over it a little more in a second. So OTRA, this one also popped up at the open. I think it halted up. Yeah, it squeezed up to 1140, pull back. This is more of a ABCD pattern on the 1 minute. Dip, pop, dip, breakout. Squeezes to 1260 and then was showing a $13 resumption, but then ended up opening low, flushing down to 1135. It bounced back up, but it wasn't easy. I didn't end up trading it, but I was watching it from the sidelines. So we had OTRA on the high day Momo scanner. We had TGI, MX. We had PIK pop up again. Let's see, what else did we have? Yeah, we had DPSI, of course. PIK came back up a little higher. So these were all the stocks that were hitting the scanner. BGXX, I saw that one pop up. Higher price name from $19 all the way to $33. Whoa. I mean, that's a big move, but on very light volume. No trades there for me on that one. OST, so then DPSI has the resumptions on the scanner again. Carve, yeah. So then we're getting into actively trading DPSI. So DPSI, there were a couple of pretty nice opportunities on it. I finally broke the ice and jumped in as it started squeezing up right around here. I actually got in on this micro pullback right there. It hits a high of 813. It pulls back as it came back up and broke that level. I took a trade there and we got squeezed up to 838, then up to 855. And I was just actively trading it in this whole range. So what that basically means is buying dips, adding for high a day break, taking profit as it breaks that level. Buying dips, adding for high a day break, taking profit as it breaks that level. Buying first 1 minute candle to make a new high, taking profit. Buying first 1 minute candle to make a new high here, or second, taking profit. Again here, taking profit. Notice that the volume was increasing a bit, certainly peaking here. The move was moving higher. We then halt coming down at 10.55. Bought the dip at $10 right down here. Look at that rally from 10 all the way back up to 12. We got a high of 12.98. So a very impressive move. Nice recovery on that bounce. Nice recovery on this sell-off here. At this point now, it's a little past 11 a.m. I am happy with where I sit on the day, and I don't want to push my luck. Jess has just started a Warrior Pro Mentor session for Warrior Pro All Access members. So that's over in the Warrior Pro Mentor room. He started at 11. So he's running that, and I wanted to do my just quick recap of the trades that I took this morning, but I don't want to overstay my welcome. The fact is I was up, I don't even remember where I finished yesterday, $2,000 or something like that. So yesterday was a small green day. I had, basically since the red day last Wednesday, I basically just had to sit with the fact that I knew I was down, like I was $12,000 off of my all-time highs. And as much as I wanted to make it back, there was nothing to trade on Thursday. Friday, we had Viru, but I kind of screwed it up and only made 300 on it. Monday, no trades. There were things that moved, but I was nervous. I just didn't love anything. Yesterday, Tuesday, I was like, you know what, just do it. Took a couple trades, made a little money. Some stuff moved a little more. I didn't trade it. Today, I was like, let's go step up to the plate, take some trades. And I broke the ice, got green, and we ended up having a nice move on DPSI, which, initially I traded with pretty small size because I felt like I was chasing it. I was getting in high, but I was like, let's just go small size. And I was getting a little annoyed because I was up only like 900 on it, 1,500 shares, 3,000 shares, like 20, 30 cents. And then I was up 13, then I was up only 800, lost a little. Then I was up, 2,000, then 1,500. And, but then I started to kind of get in the groove as it started to really pull away here between 10 and 12. And that's where I kind of stacked up the profit. And then I went from 10,000 to 14,000 through this dip here and the recovery back up to 12. So, it ended up, being a pretty good day, all things considered. And the way you trade through a bear market is by being disciplined and sitting and waiting. And then, when you have something that starts to open up, you're right there ready to jump in. So I'm glad that I was able to restrain myself and be patient the last few days. I think I could have probably traded a little bit more, but at the same time, having had that $12,000 loss last Wednesday, I just know how quickly it can start to accelerate and snowball. And I just did not want to let that happen, because if you start to snowball red days, like 2-3 red days in a row in a bear market, it could take you weeks to make it back. So it's literally taken me a week to make back the loss from last Wednesday, right? So between last Wednesday and today, my net profit over the week is basically, I'm break even. Was down 12, up 14, up 2, but then there's commissions and stuff. So whatever. I mean, I'm up a little bit, I'm sure, but not a lot. And that's just part of the market we're in. So the losses on Wednesday were avoidable last Wednesday, and that left me feeling a little frustrated with myself that I overstayed my welcome and took unnecessary losses. And so I'm tried to be better about that Thursday, Friday, Monday, and Tuesday, and today as well. And so I'm not going to overstay my welcome. It's 11:15, and I have exceeded my expectation for the day by quite a lot. So I'm going to take this money off the table, be grateful for it, and come back and try again tomorrow. And we'll see if Thursday and Friday things open up a little bit more. I mean, this was a nice move on DPSI. So, and who knows, maybe it does go higher. I don't know. It is right around the 200 moving average. So some resistance there, which I was aware of. But, maybe it goes higher, maybe it doesn't. But in any case, a stock going up 150% in one day, that's a good sign. That's a good sign. That's good to see. And, we could look at the overall market and we'd see the overall market, not particularly hot today. It's actually pulling back, right? So in the last 4 days, this is the worst day, but it doesn't really matter because we had this one individual stock that got going and traders jumped on that. So, they're just fewer and further between, and short sellers inherently are a bit more aggressive in this market, but there are some opportunities still to be had. You just have to be disciplined and not overstay your welcome. So that's it for me. Reminder, as always, my results are not typical and trading is risky. So take it slow, practice a simulator before you put real money on the line. And if you want to check out my micro pullback PDF, I'll put a link right down below. You can download that. And if you want to watch the episode that I recorded or that I streamed live yesterday on my pre-market day trading strategies, I'll put that right up here in the top corner and you guys can check that out. I think you'll really enjoy it. And if you do, I'd love for you to hit the thumbs up and maybe share it with a couple friends. Okay, thanks so much. I'll see you guys back at it for the morning show tomorrow morning.